All right, let's do this. Day 6, prelims, results of interest for the 2022 World Aquatics Championships. Today is day 6, the 22nd of June, 2022. It's a recitation format video that goes with the Wikipedia writing production. There are links in the video description for different playlists in the project overview YouTube video, as well as a link to my Wikipedia user page, where the writing component is kind of centered. And there's also timestamps for the different sections of this video. And the countries of interest we talk about in the video are defined in on the Wikipedia user page and in the first project overview for this 2022 World Aquatics Championships. So let's jump into it. Logistics. A want, I guess, or something that in watching this World Championships has kind of come to mind is like splitting the World Aquatics Championships into two separate World Championships for each sport and flesh out event offerings, especially in artistic swimming and open water swimming. Equal offerings for men and women in adding experimental / novel new events, as these sports are naturally inclined towards innovation. If cost were not an issue for me, this would be my preference. So if I had all the money in the world and I could go to all the time, or not all the time in the world, but all the money in the world, I'd make time, is splitting. So there's 5 different sports at this World Aquatics Championships. Sometimes there's more. High diving is not at this one. There's diving, water polo, artistic swimming, open water swimming, and pool swimming. And artistic swimming doesn't actually have its own world championships. What happens with these sports is the world championships for the year is all with these other sports, which is kind of, in writing about it and publishing about it and covering it, is kind of, with artistic swimming, it'll be a couple hours in the morning, maybe, for a prelim session, and then maybe an hour in the evening for a final session. But I like the duration. It goes from the 17th of June to the 25th of June, just artistic swimming. But it's kind of like, it'd be cool if there was another event each day. And currently, they're trying to get more men into the sport and kind of men's artistic swimming, so there could be men's solo events. It'd be cool if they could come up with another kind of, they're kind of working on innovating new team events, but what about solo events and duet events? Could there be a 3rd or a 4th event added there as well? And it'd be really cool if they did something like that and then held its own artistic swimming world championships. It's a really enjoyable sport to watch, and it'd be cool to go, maybe like a dream format would be like a medal or 2 each morning and prelims kind of staggered, which is just, I don't know, from a purely entertainment and enjoyment, so high entertainment value, high enjoyment value, and a spectator's perspective is, I do like sitting and watching things, and especially, so I don't know, I guess I want more of these sports, and I think coverage I'm finding, not always, some sports are very targeted, or press coverage is very targeted, but so maybe not so much press coverage, it's I don't know. It'd be cool. If money were not an issue, I'd prefer to see it split up. And then up next is United States. I'll provide a little bit of my perspective and work experience on preventing sexual harassment and discrimination based on gender, and other things, but it was mainly gender. When I was working at the University of California, Berkeley, I actually worked on this for a few years. And in like a leader perspective, I was one of my department's representatives for a task force to the dean and the division of, so it included all of the physical sciences and mathematics departments. And so I did this for a few years, and we interacted with like Title IX and stuff like that. And there's this thing in sports that's called the United States of America Center for Safe Sport, and it's a place where one can file complaints against people. And my perspective on it is, it's similar. So this is the University of California, Berkeley perspective, because that's where I did my work. The Title IX office, which is supposed to handle harassment and discrimination, was under investigation itself for misconduct. So, and the United States Center for Safe Sport, or United States of America Center for Safe Sport, it was very much perceived the same way, specifically in regards to the University of California, Berkeley. There was, I would call it, I quit with no degree, in part because of the pettiness of a lot of students at the University of California, Berkeley. Like, there was one girl I knew who was a graduate student who was trying to get her professor fired, not because he had done anything wrong, just because she wanted to see if she could do it. So she did all of these, she would lie and say, this person did this misconduct and treated me wrong and stuff, and he hadn't. So she was going, and then she would make the accusation and then fabricate, so generate evidence after the fact. And she took a whole lot of pride in this, of like, after submitting complaints, then making up the evidence, so forging the documents and stuff like that, or evidence or whatever it was, to make it look like he had done something he hadn't. And so that also, and this is very University of California, Berkeley specific, it was a huge problem there, a huge problem with Title IX, and a huge problem with the United States Center for Safe Sport. So like, I think the most common example that I encountered at University of California, Berkeley was some random person who's never even been to the University of California, Berkeley, not even stepped foot on the campus, will look up athletes online. So they might find a swimmer, let's say they find a male swimmer online, and they go, you know what? This is the #1 program in the country. I want to see if I can ruin this person's career just for fun. This is not me. This is what these people do. Speaking from my experience interacting with these kind of people. And so that lady will take and submit lies, say this person, this male swimmer did something, when in reality he didn't, and they'll submit it to the United States Center for Safe Sport, and then the United States Center for Safe Sport kind of violates the Constitution and the right to a fair trial, because they'll put restrictions in place before there is ever a fair trial concluded, kind of thing, and it'll affect the career of that male swimmer, for example, or hypothetically, and that's what the person's going for, that submits this person committed misconduct, when in reality they didn't, and then they go and they forge the documents and the evidence and stuff like that. So it's framing, to frame an innocent person to make it look like they did something wrong when they didn't. And so that was a huge problem at the University of California, Berkeley. Again, this is super school specific. I attended the university for over 4 years, and I worked in this area at the school, and have experience dealing with these kind of people. So it does happen. So just, I would say, if there's allegations of misconduct, especially against male athletes from the University of California, Berkeley, through the United States Center for Safe Sport, that might be taken with I might advise one based on my experience. Not all the time, it's not like I said, but more often than not, those are somebody who hasn't even met the person, just trying to see if they can ruin the person's career, kind of thing. So that's my experience with that. It's, yeah. The reality of being a #1 is if you're, so like, if the program's really good, there's people like to attack just for fun to see if they can ruin a person's career, kind of thing. All right, countries of interest results. Next thing, lighter topic, possibly. Artistic swimming, team free routine, this is female team. Canada, Italy, and Japan competed, and Italy and Japan advanced to the final. I do count, did not start as competing because they were still there, kind of thing. And they entered and that kind of thing. Yeah. So then the next event was pool swimming, 100 meter freestyle female. France, Great Britain, Italy, and South Africa competed. France and Great Britain advanced to the semifinals. In pool swimming, 200 meter backstroke male. France, Great Britain, Italy, South Africa competed. France, Great Britain advanced to the semifinals. So South Africa, that was the exhibition hall. So not like in the main pool kind of thing. Pool swimming, 200 meter breaststroke female. Great Britain, Italy competed and all advanced to the semifinals. In pool swimming, 200-meter breaststroke male, France and Great Britain competed, and Great Britain advanced to the semifinals. In the pool swimming, 4x200-meter freestyle relay female, Great Britain competed and advanced to the final. So that's that. Up next, lone penguins of interest results. This is not applicable. There weren't lone penguins in the main pool this morning. All right. Medal table. No new medals in this prelims session. And no adjustments to previous medal tables, like a medal getting disqualified or something like that. Medalists. No new medals, no changes or adjustments to the medal table means no new medalists or lost medalists. And then up last, other interest-piquing results. We got 3 of those. So I mentioned the exhibition hall already. Tatjana Schoenmaker swam a 2:16.00 in the exhibition hall, so in exhibition in the 200-meter breaststroke female long course. So that's the first thing. Up next, Shaine Casas, my Elmo Dolphin, advanced to the semifinals, ranking first with a time of 1 minute 56.66 seconds in the 200-meter backstroke male this morning. And then up last is Lani Pallister. She helped advance the Australia 4x200-meter freestyle relay female to the final, ranking first with a split time of 1:56.86. So that is this video. Day 6, pretty brief. It was a pretty short prelims session. Mostly logistics in this video, but I hope you're having a good